2 years and more than 100 figures have passed since Disney started their lucrative Toys-to-Life venture, Infinity. For its third major installment, the franchise is traveling to the galaxy everyone's talking about this year, Star Wars. Almost every aspect of the game has been improved, and the source material has been treated in a way that fans will appreciate. But is it enough to bring in new customers that aren't sold on the idea already? There are a lot of items to consider when investing in Infinity, so let's focus on the starter pack. If you're new to the series, you'll have to begin here to get the base that brings the toys into the game. Previous starter packs cost around $75 and came with 3 figures. This year, Disney has removed 1 figure to bring the price down to $65. Along with the game disc, which grants you access to the toy box, Infinity's custom map creator, the starter pack comes with 1 playset, Twilight of the Republic, and 2 of its lead characters, Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda also make appearances in the playset, but their individual figures are sold separately. Following events written specifically for the playset, the 4 or 5 hour journey takes you to the canyons of Geonosis, deserts of Tatooine, skylines of Coruscant, and palaces of Naboo. Twilight is brief, but offers way more variety than any of the playsets in 2.0. You can travel back and forth between all 4 locations and explore the pockets of space beyond each planet's atmosphere, which feature their own set of challenges and collectibles. The gameplay is a mix of flying, fighting, racing, and platforming. The zones are open world, so you're free to explore and complete objectives at your own pace. The story has little to no bearing on the overall narrative of Star Wars, but there are some amusing side quests. You can now chat with random townspeople, and certain mission objectives now evolve as you work through them. Infinity 2.0 allows certain characters to cross between playsets. 3.0 opens up Twilight and the upcoming playsets based on Episode 7 and the classic trilogy to accommodate any and all Star Wars characters. In last year's version, you had to hunt down 10 coins to bring an outside character into a playset. For 3.0, there's just 1 coin per character, and most are easy to find. Combat in Infinity became a much bigger deal in 2.0 to accommodate the Marvel superheroes, and smashing enemies to pieces is even more satisfying this year. Renowned action developer Ninja Theory, who worked on a few characters from 2.0, has lent their air juggling expertise to 3.0. The fights are much faster, and the addition of force pushes and pulls makes it a kick to toss around groups of battle droids. Boss encounters have also been somewhat lackluster in prior playsets, but now they feel like more of a challenge. These clashes with characters like General Grievous and Darth Maul can be dropped into the toy box as well.
Face me, coward!
Speaking of Infinity's map creator, it's gotten a considerable amount of polish this year. The intro to the toy box, called the Toy Box Hub, has a lot going on. In 1.0, it's just a simple starter map. In 2.0, they have an area that grows as you complete tutorials. The 3.0 hub is divided into areas highlighting the main activities available in the toy box, and it's fun to explore each one. Instead of forcing you through a string of lessons, they introduce you to each concept and provide bonus trials if you want to keep practicing. The 2 biggest toy box additions in 3.0, outside of very specific creative tools, are farming and Sidekicks. The 2 work hand in hand. Sidekicks appeared in the game discs packaged with 2.0, but now they'll follow you anywhere in the toy box, including the Toy Box Takeover expansion, and offer combat assistance. You can equip them with a tool and a hat, giving them specific abilities and stat bonuses. You level your Sidekicks up with food that you gain from farming, and the food options get pretty bizarre. You can place farming plots in any toy box, and each type of crop you grow will level up your sidekick in different ways. If you get deep into toy box building, you'll find some new gadgets that Infinity calls Creativitoys that will substantially expand the options of this year's competitive creators. The greatest is the Path Creator, which allows you to move anything along a predetermined route. You can make ships fly in the sky, cars drive around on roads, platforms travel where you want, and the camera glide around for cinematic angles that weren't possible before. New Creativitoys also let you cue certain objects to change their theme, configure toy boxes so they'll be modified depending on the calendar date, write your own music by combining the music note creator with the metronome toy, and more. If you're hooked on the weekly Disney Infinity web series Toy Box TV, you can watch episodes at a toy version of the infamous El Capitan Theater, and a mini Flynn's Arcade now showcases all the best uploads from the game's growing community of clever toy box Imagineers. Outside of the starter pack, there's a lot to consider for your Infinity shopping list. There's the Toy Box Takeover, a significant upgrade to last year's dungeon-crawling Toy Box game discs that will work with any character from any version of Infinity. Later this year, we're getting the Toy Box Speedway, another game disc that focuses on racing and works with any vehicle you've collected since the franchise's launch. 5 playsets have been announced for 3.0, which is up from the 3 released last year, including Twilight of the Republic. Inside Out is available at launch, Rise of the Empire comes out at the end of September, and sometime in the near future we're getting another Marvel playset called Battlegrounds, and a playset based on Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Other than the roster of figures that come with the playsets, there are at least 24 characters you'll be able to purchase separately. The only merchandise that appears smaller in scope compared to the previous versions is the Power Discs, with only 12 announced so far. The good news is they're no longer sold in blind packs, so what you see is what you get. The dark side to Disney Infinity is always the cost. For the second year, only 1 playset is included in the starter pack as opposed to the 3 available in 1.0. Twilight of the Republic's planet hopping is a more diverse experience than the Avengers Tour of New York, but the balance of starter pack content leans too heavily on the toy box. 2.0 compensated for this with the included game discs, and while those are much more elaborate this year, they're now sold separately. It's being billed as the ultimate Star Wars experience, but it's also the most expensive. That said, some people have already invested heavily in Disney Infinity, and that commitment will pay off again this year. Everything but the previous playsets is compatible. The more figures you have, the faster each of them level up, and upgrades to the combat from Ninja Theory affect anyone holding a melee weapon. Any purchase you make in Disney Infinity will reward you in many ways, and between the toy boxes you build for yourself, the ones packed into the hub, and those you download online, there's a crazy amount of levels. Few games today receive this much support throughout the year, and have such a dedicated community of people giving users more and more inventive creations to enjoy. If this year of Infinity is anything like the last two, 3.0 is something that kids of all ages will want to be a part of.